What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mage 217 box mod. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, does pineapple belong on pizza? This is a big one, guys, and I know it's going to be a heated debate down in the comments box. I can hear you guys furiously typing away as I speak. And with that, my personal opinion, I'm going to say I am pro pineapple on pizza. I've been eating pineapple on pizza since I was a little kid, and I've always been a big fan of the Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple on it. You get that little bit of salty, you get that little bit of sweet, and it just makes for one really nice flavor combination, but that's just me personally. Obviously, you anti-pineapple on pizza people are entitled to your own opinions, and I'm sure you're letting me know why I'm wrong right down there in the comments box below. So with that out of the way, we've got this guy right here to take a look at today. This is the Mage 217 box mod by a company called CoilArt, with a big shout out and thank you to CoilArt for allowing me to take a look at one of these devices for the purpose of making this video. So to be perfectly honest, I was a little bit skeptical about this device from CoilArt when I first saw it introduced on their Instagram page, but when I finally got it in my hands for review, I was pleasantly surprised by the overall performance and quality. So taking a quick look online, this device comes in 3 different color options for you to choose from. You have black, bronze, and copper, and it's going to run you about $60. Now, if you wanted a full kit with a sub-ohm tank included, then it's going to run you about $75 online, and of course, links are right down there in the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got our Mage 217 in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what's inside. So, first and foremost, picture the device with a little spot gloss. There you go. Mage 217 right there, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty plain and simple packaging with this one here. On the bottom we have a CoilArt logo. On the top we have another CoilArt logo and this little hanger tag thing. I'm not sure who's hanging these things up at vape shops, but it has a hanger tag, I guess. It's there for a reason. We have the CoilArt social media links if you guys want to check those out, and of course the obligatory non-existent colors from CoilArt. Yeah, I've never seen any single one of these colors except for black, copper, and bronze, so yeah, not sure why they do that, but there you go, it's on there. On the back here we have Mage 217 box mod, what's in the box, and some warnings, scratch and check, company information, UPC, and more warnings right down there. Let's take a look inside. Take off the cover. First things first, user manual. Oh, come on, man. I hate these fold-out user manuals. It'll never go back the same way. Color graphic, well, one color graphic, I should say. The rest is decently sized printing, but yeah, -5 points for having a fold-out manual there. We have the Mage 217 box mod itself. Put that to the side, and, well, this is going to be impossible to get out. We know what it is. We all know what it is. But we have to do it for science. So, oh look, it even says it right there on the side, USB charger. It's a USB charging cable, and it's one of those like braided ones that's really not too bad of quality with metal ends there. So, and it even has a little CoilArt thing on it. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you 1 point back for effort there, CoilArt, but seriously, get your manuals in check. All right, guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it takes 2 21700, 2700, or 18650 batteries. It has 4 battery ventilation ports, a large clicky octagon firing button, bright 0.96-inch OLED screen, rocker-style adjustment button, front micro USB port for charging and updating, intuitive menu system, full temp control suite, safe vaping features, strong black magnetic battery door, fits up to 26mm atomizers flush, wattage range is 5 to 217 watts, resistance range is 0.05 to 3 ohms, temp control range is 200 to 600 Fahrenheit, or 95 to 315 Celsius. Temp control supported coil types are stainless steel, titanium, and nickel. The material is zinc alloy, and it has a 510 thread. Alright guys, so let's start this bad boy up. First thing we're going to do is take off the battery cover. Let's go ahead and grab our 21700 batteries. I've got some 30Ts here, and we're just going to install them like that with the spring-loaded first, just like that. Ribbon goes on and it fits fairly snug, so there we go. Let's just get that aligned and boom. And as you can see, it is already on. This thing takes almost no time at all to get going, and that is something I really do like about it. As you can see, I'm in wattage mode right now. Wattage up is on this side, wattage down is on this side. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. If you want to change modes, 3 clicks on the button and it goes around the horn. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. and it's indicated by the little thing up there at the top. This is power mode for, or P for power mode there, 75 watts. We could just tick that down to 75. It goes in half-watt increments. You screw your tank or whatever you want on top, and it's going to ask you new coil, old coil. If you want to set it to the new coil rating, then you just hit the up button, or old coil for the down button there. And as you can see, it's got a wattage rating alongside of it. So my old setting was 75 watts. It's telling me that it recommends 80 watts. So if you want to just set it there, then you can go to the new one just like that, and it automatically adjusts to 80 watts, which is something I really do like. So overall, it kind of has the size, shape, and feel of the RX2 21700. A little bit taller and a little bit heavier. Nice little gold accents there, and as you can see, I kind of matched it with that drip tip. So yeah, sometimes I'm a little bit flashy, but overall pretty nice. As you could probably tell, mine is a little bit scuffed up here and there on the edges, especially right there. And this battery door has a little bit of a wiggle to it, so few little minor things there as far as quality is concerned, but overall I'd say this thing is really nice and tough, and you could probably hurt someone with this mod because it weighs about 5 pounds. But as you can see, the little USB port right on the front there for your charging, and it does work, although I don't recommend it. I mean, it's not my favorite thing in the world to charge mods with a USB. One really cool feature about this user interface is this thing right down there, the PCB temperature readout. Now, when I was rocking this thing at about 130 watts with a dripper on top, this PCB got up pretty hot. So it was kind of interesting to see the actual temperature of the board itself while it's operating and things like that. So it's something to keep an eye on, and it's kind of something I almost wish more devices would have, but it's kind of almost at the same time useless information because most mods nowadays have an overheat feature anyways. So there's that. But in any case, that's pretty much all I've got to talk about in this close-up section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is that it's fairly intuitive and easy to use. The user interface on this thing is pretty simple to figure out. It's just 3 clicks to change the mode, and whenever you put a new atomizer on top, it's going to give you a suggested new wattage, and that's helpful for the people that tend to set their wattage really high for a dripper, take their dripper off, put a tank on, and hit it by accident at 200 watts or something like that. This kind of eliminates that problem. You have to go through that step every time you change your atomizer on this thing. My second pro for this one is the battery life. Now, with 2 fully charged 21700s in here at around 75 or 80 watts, I can get a full day's use out of it, no problem whatsoever. Even if I'm using a dripper on here at 120 plus watts, I could still get most of the day on a full charge of battery, and that's pretty handy for me for something with a 2 battery system rather than a 3 battery system. That's just going to be a little bit less bulk and a little bit lighter in my pocket. My third pro today is the overall build quality. I feel like this thing is built like a tank, and it's going to be able to handle most of my day in, day out abuse. I feel like if I drop this thing a couple of times, it's not going to shatter into a million pieces, which is more than what could be said for most of the mods that are out there on the market nowadays. I do have some little minor complaints, which we'll get to in a second here in the con section, but overall I feel like this is a very well-made device. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the button. Now, I know it doesn't seem like anything super special for a mod nowadays, but with that, the button on this thing is slightly oversized, which is really nice. It sticks out ever so slightly. It's not super duper flush, but that makes it so I can find it really nice and easily, and it's very clicky. I love a good clicky button, and this is definitely one of the clickier buttons that I've experienced in my recent past, and I gotta say, the buttons on this thing are just really, really nice. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is the battery door. Now, one good thing I can say about this battery door is that it's magnetic, and it's really easy to get your batteries in and out of there without any issues, and it's not a bottom latch style door, which I can't stand. But the thing about this battery door is that it has a little bit of a wiggle to it. It has some play, and it just kind of gets to you after a while, after you use it for a couple of weeks, and you just feel that little bit of little bit of rattle and a little bit of play. It just kind of gets annoying. The other thing about this battery door is that it doesn't fit really super flush on the mod. I'm not sure if that's a molding problem or what, just the quality control doesn't seem to be all there with this device, and that can be an issue. I feel like they just really didn't take their time with the overall design of this one. My second con for this one is the paint quality. The paint quality on this thing is really not the best. I've only been using it for about a month or so, and the paint is already starting to chip a little bit, and I've got tons of little nicks all over this thing showing the bare metal underneath, and I feel like after a couple more months, this thing is going to be mostly metallic. And with that, if you're looking at this thing as far as a beauty aspect, you're definitely looking in the wrong spot. I'm going to say this one's a little bit more on the beast side than anything else. And my third con for this one is another thing that just annoys me about it. It's the fact that sometimes when I go to shut this device off, I click the button 5 times and it just fires the atomizer 5 times. That's something I really just can't get the timing right down with this one or something like that, but I feel like every other mod that I own, I just click that button 5 times and it shuts right off. With this one here, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and it just can't decide whether or not it wants to work properly for me. And my fourth and final con for this device is that the 510 connection is not centered. Now, that's something that's really annoying for me personally because I really want to use my bigger, chunkier atomizers on it, and it's going to look really ugly if I do that because they're going to overhang on the edge here. I'd say about 26 millimeters is the biggest you could possibly go with this one with no overhang whatsoever, but otherwise it also is raised off the top of the mod itself, which means anything bigger than the 510 connection itself is going to look pretty ugly as well. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to say yes to this one. Honestly, this is one of my kind of workhorse sort of mods that I bring around everywhere with me, and I know it's going to last as far as battery life is concerned, and I know it can take some abuse as well. So I actually took this one with me to London Vape Show, and it survived the journey there. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I do like it ever so slightly more than the RX2 21700 personally, and I do recommend you guys try one out for yourself if you're in the market for something that works really hard but maybe doesn't have to look the best all the time. So if you guys want one of these for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to leave your comments right down there in the box below, and check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.